Good evening, everyone, and thanks for taking the time out of your busy days to join us. Tonight we are highlighting a special Zoom coming to you live or from a recording from the person that is sending to you called Made for More Beyond the Classroom. And today we have three special people that are going to be sharing about their experience in the classroom and how we have partnered with a company called Juice Plus in order to help our students and our staff, our friends and family. I'd like to share my screen here to show you what we are talking about. So if you look at the screen here, it shows you, let's see here, I'm going to put it in present mode so you can see what I'm seeing. And again, we are partnering with a company called Juice Plus. We are on a mission to inspire healthy living around the world. And today you're going to hear from three teachers that are in different stages of their careers. And we're going to introduce you to a couple of resources that you can use along the way. But let's introduce you to some of the speakers really quickly. My name is Henry Lee. I taught anatomy and physiology, biologies, chemistries, and stuff here in Dublin City Schools for about 13 years, and I am now retired. We're also going to hear from Brooke Wills. She is a daycare teacher, and she's going to be sharing with you about her experience and her vision for the future. And then my good friend Sheli Gossett down in Florida, who is a special ed teacher, who is near the end of her career, but is supplementing her income using our Juice Plus community. So without further ado, just want to jump into a couple different things about what we do. We all understand that a diet that's rich in fruits and vegetables is one of the healthiest things that you can do, but it's pretty difficult to do. It's really the FDA and current research shows that more than half of your plate should really be filled with vine-ripened raw fruits and vegetables. And I don't know about you, but the last time I got 13 servings of fruits and vegetables, that's fist-size servings of fruits and vegetables in a single day, and not just a couple different fruits and vegetables, but a huge variety. It's pretty difficult to do. So we have a couple tools that we use. I discovered this back in 2012, so just about 7 years ago now. In the classroom, I would always teach that your food, what you put in your body, is what your cells are being made of. We've all heard of the cliche, "You are what you eat." And I was teaching kids that, all these nutritious vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that you're putting in your body, they're good for you because that's what your cells are being made of. But outside of the classroom, I was eating Burger King and greasy fries and literally building my cells, my body from the inside out, using just junk food. And so I was introduced to the concept of dehydrating food and pulverizing it into a powder form. And there's a company that does that, which allows us to get over 30 fruits and vegetables every single day. After looking at the research, I found that it was so that it was such a valued product that I needed to share it with other people. So I ended up starting on the products and started sharing it immediately. Here you can see I have divided up the reason why I decided to share into three categories. And I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about time freedom and what it's allowed me to do. And I have some pictures to show you about that. That freedom from disease, that I've seen a couple different differences in my health, my regularity in my joints, and the gift of hope for the future, since I know that disease runs in my family. So this is the community that I was introduced to. And as a teacher, I know a lot of you guys that are watching, are coming from the classroom and realize that you have been gifted with all sorts of resources and skills in the area and the of teaching. And this is a partnership and a community in which you can still use those gifts like the three of us still do, but in a different context. Instead of bound by the walls of a classroom, I get to travel all over the world with these cool people, and do it whenever I want to, wherever I want to, with whomever I want to. And so this is one of my favorite quotes here. A healthy lifestyle doesn't just change your body, but it changes your minds and your attitude and your mood. And so this picture was actually taken out in Norway. I've been able to have the time freedom to travel, not just during the summers, not just during those breaks, but pretty much whenever I want. So I've been able to go on cruises, been able to go visit my baby niece down in Albuquerque when she was born, was able to go up to Canada and spend a couple of weeks up there when my roommate was moving up there. And you can see I'm big on adventure sports, so I do a lot of climbing, a lot of canoeing and such, and I can cater my schedule to whenever I want to. So another cool thing that partnering with Juice Plus has enabled me to do is I get to network with a ton of awesome people and find resources and needs and marry them together. And I just chose a couple pictures here to show you these are some people that I would never have met if I had stayed inside the classroom. And now I get to partner with people like Chris Borja, who is a master networker and connects people from all sorts of different trades, and people like Mary Jenkins, who is a Christians Overcoming Cancer and helps families that are dealing with cancer pay their utility bills and their mortgages and stuff like that. And we partner with nurses and doctors and dentists and cardiologists all over the place. And so one of the centers that learned about the stuff that we're doing and how Juice Plus really is backed by research, and you can see it in the blood work. This is a center that I partner with on a regular basis called the Heart Attack and Stroke Prevention Center of Central Ohio, where they can literally prevent heart attacks and strokes. And they do things like prevent Alzheimer's and diabetes using nutrition. One of the awesome things that I get to see in my health and in the future health in the Gift of Hope is we call moms that are taking Juice Plus while they're pregnant. They are producing something called Juice Plus Babies. And this is my baby niece, Samantha. She's actually pretty famous on our team. This was on a cruise just a couple months ago. And because her cells were built from the foundation up, while mom's cells were being fed with fruits and vegetables every single day, over 30 variety of these, then she is a super happy, healthy, cute baby. And being able to travel all over the place with her. I've been to to Canada, to Illinois, to Albuquerque, she's been out all over the world already. I also get to meet awesome people like Dr. David Phillips. He works with professional athletes, and he shares the Juice Plus products with them as well. Up here on the top right, this is my singles community up in around Columbus. I'm able to volunteer not just after hours and on weekends, but pretty much throughout the day, and just connect people throughout Columbus in different ministries. So wanted to share with you a little bit about the products that we've been talking about in case you haven't heard. This is a great analogy that we like to use. Multivitamins are isolated megadoses of just a handful of vitamins and minerals. In fact, if you were to look at a general multivitamin on the side of it, you would see that it really only contains about 15 to 20 vitamins and minerals. But if you were to compare it to whole food, like an apple, this apple has over 10,000 minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, and all the other phytonutrients that your body was actually designed to synergize with. And this list is only a fraction of those. And so what we do is we take more than just an apple. We take apples and peaches and pears and etc. And we have a veggie blend and a berry blend that enables you to get not just a full apple and a full pineapple, but a bite of each of these every single day to give you the nutrients that your body was actually designed to thrive on. And so would definitely encourage you to talk to the person who has sent you the recording and get in touch with them to ask them about the benefits that Juice Plus has for them. I'm going to pass it on to my good friend Brooke to share a little bit about her story of why she decided to partner with this awesome company. So Brooke, take it away.
Thanks, Henry. Can you go ahead and switch to that next slide for me? Thank you. So one of the really cool parts about Juice Plus, and Henry just showed you all of the ingredients there. This was a big reason why I chose to take it is because the people in Juice Plus work directly with farmers that are skilled 100% in just that particular crop. So they're truly getting the best of the best. I've even seen somebody on stage that works directly with these farmers, and she has a special pair of boots that she wears on the farm only. So they really respect the ingredients, and that's part of, there's an NSF certification on the labels that just means that everything that is on the label is in the product, and everything that is in the product is on the label. So there's no fillers, there's no extra ingredients, there's no hidden stuff in there. It's just fruits and vegetables at their most pure, good, full of nutrition state for us to absorb into our bodies. So if you can click to the next slide, the other part that I chose to partner with this company was their clinical research. We have over 50 published clinical research studies out now. And they are, Henry helped me with this, double-blind, placebo-tested. I don't know all the fancy lingo, but basically the results can speak for themselves, and they're all published in very, very highly established medical journals all over the world. We're working with top colleges such as Yale University, Harvard. There's been, mention in so many just really highly established publications there, and they're all available for anybody to read. Nobody's trying to hide anything, and it's just really awesome. One of the speaker that I went to see originally, Dr. Candace Corson, had shared about a study that they're doing about teenage boys with diabetes, and that how Juice Plus had affected that. So right off the bat, it was just really high quality stuff that I was hearing about. And we'll go ahead to the next one. It's weird not being able to control this. And so this is a little bit just about my personal story, but my really good friend Lisa introduced me to Juice Plus, and I was at the time in college full-time, working full-time over 40 hours a week, as well as babysitting, and I was already in another direct marketing company, and I was just found myself really spiraling out of control in my health, is a really easy way to put it. Found myself more overweight than ever. I grew up overweight. I've always struggled with that. I tried every diet known to mankind and failed most of them. I would have little success here and there, but I just never really found what clicked for me and what I knew that I needed. So when I was hearing about Juice Plus and about this company, and I could tell right off the bat, just based on all of that clinical research, and I knew my friend Lisa wouldn't have shared it with me if it wasn't something she believed in, and I fully trusted her. So I'm forever grateful that she shared this with me, but my skin, right off the bat, I could tell a difference in my skin, my hair, my nails. I had some major digestion issues that kind of completely went away pretty quickly. So that was a big aha moment for me with that. And I do work with kids, and I teach preschool. So I'm always I have 2.5 to 3.5-year-olds, which is crazy, but they're super fun. But they're really disgusting. I love them to pieces, but I come home covered in stuff. I don't know what's on me half the time. They're always sick. So I feel like it was my duty to share with them. And I've seen a lot of my kiddos and their families become healthier. And 2.5 and 3.5 is a really big potty training age. So working on their little digestive systems as well, and just getting a stronger immune system. And not only for them, that was also something else that I was noticing. I don't take any sick days at work. I get to take my personal time off and go to our conferences. That's a picture of us from I think the last Tampa conference there, having fun. And Juice Plus is definitely not a weight loss program. It's not a weight loss product by any means. But that has been a huge part of my story. I just noticed if I was getting all of these changes from this increase in plant nutrition, why not? I was already vegetarian for about 5 years. So I just went ahead and went fully plant-based. And I feel like that was the piece of the puzzle that was missing in my own personal health journey. It's been about 2 years, but kind of slowly and steadily, I've lost about 50 pounds. I've definitely gotten comfortable in my, not a diet, but in my eating habits lately, but I know that those foundations are there based on a program that we offer called Shred 10. And it's just really the foundation of a healthier lifestyle, not only adding Juice Plus, adding those complete shakes, which we'll talk about in a minute, but getting more sleep, staying, I don't get stressed out very easily, but just kind of managing those things, increasing your water, just taking in as many plant foods that you can, and really just not worrying about the rest. So that was a big part of mine. And this, Henry, I like that you put a quote on yours too, but I feel like when you grow up kind of overweight or plus size, and not to get into this too much, but you kind of learn to play small. And when you're made to feel guilty about actually taking up a little bit more space than other people, you kind of shelter yourself. So this quote for me is really like what embodies my Juice Plus journey. You don't do the world any favors by playing small. So I'm really inspired by stories like Henry, who's gotten to step away from his full-time job, and like so many of, the people that we partner with, and just see all of the great things that Juice Plus has brought into so many people's lives. So I definitely have a big hope for the future, and this is just the beginning. And if you can go to the next slide for me, please. This is some of just my favorite Juice Plus stuff. I have a tower garden in my classroom, which I am obsessed with, and introducing just some of those healthy habits to my kids in my classroom, even if it's just getting a sensory experience out of touching a piece of lettuce or tasting a bite of basil off a tower garden. Just the other day, we painted with watermelon rinds and celery sticks, and so just introducing them to stuff that they might not get to touch and feel at home or make a mess with or taste or smell. And we are always constantly talking about things that make our bones strong and healthy. We talk about all the beautiful colors of all the foods that we're seeing, and really just any way that you can introduce healthy habits to kids. They are going to thank you in the long run. They're going to benefit from that. These are our Juice Plus shakes in the top middle there that we made into popsicles. This is a salad in a jar on the right hand side. And these things are some of the stuff that we get to do when we do a business with this. So we're simply sharing products that we love, things that have made our lives easier, like these salad in a jar things and the popsicles. And in the middle there are some of my favorite treats. Those are some energy bites made out of the complete shake mix. And it's basically like finding a favorite mascara at Target or something, where you're just sharing what you love with your friends and family. And we get to do this business for less than $1 a week per year. So it is, I mean, a win-win-win. I can't say enough good things. The rest of these pictures are just some of my, outside of my own personal family, my Juice Plus family are some of my absolute favorite people. And I wouldn't have them in my lives without somebody introducing this to me. So just forever grateful. We've gotten to travel together, experience so many life-changing moments. And I just can't say enough good things about it. So you can go ahead and click to the next slide for me. We got one more from me. And this is our Healthy Starts for Families program. So I talked a little bit about some of the families that I work with that have gotten to experience Juice Plus, and there's Henry showing off his gummies at the top. So our company is absolutely amazing, and the founder knows the importance of starting these healthy habits young and embracing these from the start. So we offer a free children's supply with any adult order. It does not have to be a child in your home. I sponsor my niece and nephew. These adorable kids at the bottom of your screen here are our friend Melissa. Those are her kids there enjoying their gummies. And they taste really delicious. There's not extra sugars in them and, crazy ingredients that you might see in some of those. There's not going to be a warning label on these. If your kid gets a hold of them, they might just go to the bathroom a little bit more that day if they take a bunch at one time. But really, it's just like eating a ton of salad or fruit or anything that you wouldn't want your kid to stay away from that. So here are just some of the results from some of the studies. They just ask that you fill out a survey. You can get the free product for up to 4 years. So that is the belief that this company has behind this, is that, they know that those foundations are going to last through their life. So you can definitely get a hold of the person that invited you to this for more information on that. So thanks, Henry.
All right. Thanks for sharing that, Brooke. And as Brooke said, these are not vitamins. These are whole foods, and she's able to share with her kids and her families all sorts of ways to get healthy nutrition in the form of snacks, meals, and just education. So I love, Brooke, that you are doing this while you are teaching. So for those of you who are currently teaching, just know that you don't have to step out of your current teaching career to do this full time. You can do this on the side as well. And just wanted to reiterate that the importance of getting the vine ripened raw fruits and vegetables versus just getting, you're taking your vitamin pills is because nature cannot be duplicated. Your bodies are designed in order to synergize with what is on this planet. So I want to introduce you to 2 other products that we have here besides the capsules. This is one of the newest products called the Omegas. And you might be nodding your head and thinking, oh yeah, I've heard of Omegas before. I get this from fish. And what we have here is something that's even better than that, because it takes about 3 to 4 pounds of fish in order to get an ounce of fish oil. And you have to heat the fish up, and that denatures the oil, some of the enzymes in there. And so instead of getting it from fish, we go straight to the source of what the fish is eating to get the healthy fats in the first place. And we get that from algae, from buckthorn berry, pomegranate, tomato seed, safflower, and raspberry seed oil. And so it's super sustainable because it's coming from plants and not animals. It's healthier for you because it doesn't have all the toxins like mercury and all that kind of stuff that you find in the oceans. And it tastes great because you don't have all the fish burps. In fact, you can puncture the capsule and put it on your skin because it's great for skin health, for joint health, and especially for brain health, because 80% of your brain is made of fatty tissue and healthy cholesterol. The other product that we have here that Brooke mentioned earlier was our Juice Plus Complete. And Brooke, I appreciate that you called it complete and not protein powder, because a lot of people confuse it with a protein powder, which is isolated whey protein, and they add in some carbohydrates that are and maybe some fillers and stuff. This is food. This is whole food nutrition from 17 fruits and vegetables. 16 fruits and vegetables plus mushrooms, so you get your vitamin D as well. And it is completely vegan, it's non-GMO, it's gluten and dairy free, and it's low glycemic, which means that it doesn't make your sugar spike up and down. So it's great for diabetics too. In fact, I have a couple friends who have started on the Complete and the capsules, and have noticed their A1C levels go from like 13 all the way down to 6.5. And if you're a diabetic, you know what that means. And this is what we call the macronutrients, the healthy sources of carbohydrates and protein that you need on a daily basis. So you can use it as a meal replacement in the morning, afternoon, evening, instead of rushing to work and stopping by Tim Hortons on the way to school and getting Timbits and a coffee. Why not spend $2 on a shake that gets you 17 fruits and vegetables, and mix it up with a little bit of almond milk, and you're ready to go for the day. And our last but not least is our Tower Gardens by Juice Plus. And to introduce this product, we are going to bring on board my good friend Sheli Gossett from Florida, who has incorporated this into her classroom. So Sheli, take it away.
Great. Thank you, Henry. So Henry is passing off a baton in a sense. I first learned about the Tower Gardens from him, and I met him in Ohio last summer. So I actually live in Florida, and we were at an educator camp together, and Henry was presenting the Tower Garden. As you can see in the picture, this Tower Garden happens to be outside. But what impressed me about the Tower Garden was that it takes up less space, 90% less space. It uses 98% less water. The produce grows 3 times faster, and it yields 30% more. And as a school teacher, I was looking at this. I teach preschool. Like Brooke, but my children are have disabilities or special needs, and I teach 3 to 5 year olds. And I'm always looking for engaging ways to get my children involved in learning. And I was looking at this garden, and I thought, wow, this is great. I could put this right in my classroom, because we don't always get to go outside. And I thought they could have hands-on growing experience right in our classroom. It's wheelchair accessible. I had a student in a wheelchair, so he would be able to get right up close to the garden as well. So I was so impressed. Henry didn't have a live garden at his presentation. He had a life-size poster, and just talking to him and hearing his enthusiasm about the garden really got me excited and thinking about all the ways that I could use it in my classroom. So I went back to Florida, and we have a grant that comes around every year around September, and it's a science grant. So I'm like, all right, I already know what I'm going to write my science grant about this year. I'm going to use this grant to try to get a garden in my classroom. So I wrote the grant, and a month later, in October, I found out that I was going to receive the grant. And I hadn't talked to Henry since June, and I called him, and I'm like, okay, Henry, I wrote the grant, I got the money, I'm ready to buy my garden now, I'm ready to get started. And he goes, well, you won't believe this, Sheli. He goes, in a week, I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida. And he goes, how would you like to go to a conference with me? So Henry, if you'll go to the next slide. We can actually come back to this one if you don't mind. We'll go to the next one, because this kind of goes along with my story. There we go. All right, so there I am with the life-size poster of the Tower Garden. So I just got excited, talking to Henry and seeing, thinking about all the ways that I could use this garden in my classroom. And then the center top picture is me receiving my check for the grant. And my superintendent actually comes and delivers the check. So that was pretty exciting. And her staff comes with them. And then anyway, I started to say that Henry told me he was going to be in Florida and would I like to go to a conference with him. And he goes, you can see Tower Gardens there. And so I was just, sure, this is great. I want to go see more Tower Gardens. And he goes, and you'll actually get to see live Tower Gardens, and you might even get to meet the inventor of the Tower Garden. And so I talked to my boss and took a day off because the conference started on Thursday evening. And so I took Friday off, and I spent the whole weekend with Henry and his team at the Juice Plus conference in Tampa. I had no clue what I was going to. I just knew I was going to see Tower Gardens, and that's all I could think about. And anyway, midweek before the conference began, Henry sent me some video of what a conference looks like. And I was like, this is one of those selling schemes. I'm getting pulled into going to this selling scheme thing. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to keep my mind open. I want to go see these gardens. I'm very excited about the gardens. And I'm like, if it is about selling something, then maybe I want to hear about it, because my boyfriend and I are getting close to retirement, and we're about 5 and 7 years out from retirement. And I'm like, we're always talking about what are we going to do in retirement. So I'm like, okay, just keep an open mind, go see what it's all about. And I'm really, really glad I went. The very first night I was sitting, listening to the speakers. There were 3 different speakers. And Henry leaned into me and he goes, so what do you think? And I said, well, what's resonating with me is this company has been around for a long time. So the longevity of the company. And I'm like, and whatever this Juice Plus stuff is, which I have no idea, had no idea at this point what Juice Plus was still, I'm listening to all these people speak and how excited they are. And I'm like, and I hear it's clinically proven by 38 studies. So I'm like, well, Henry, it sounds like it's great, and it could be something for me and my family, except for I still have no idea what it is. So throughout the rest of the weekend, I did learn about the Juice Plus capsules and the complete shakes, and I learned about the gummies. And anyway, while I was at the conference, I also got to meet Stephen Ritz. He is a teacher in the Bronx, and he has taken Tower Gardens to a whole, just unbelievable level. He's written a book about it. He has, if you think about it, the Bronx is, in the middle of probably one of the most dangerous cities, and, no trees or anything around. And just imagine what those children, when they come to school, they don't get to experience plants. And he brought Tower Gardens into his school and started teaching kids about where their food comes from and many other things. I mean, he just went on and on and on with what he's done, and he's showed them that there's hope for them to grow food. The last picture on this slide is when my students and I received our Tower Garden in the mail. I let them open the boxes and pull everything out. I just let them pull the pieces out. I had put if you look in the background of that picture, there's a picture of Tower Garden, and one of the little boys grabbed the directions and another little boy started grabbing parts, and I just let them experiment and have fun trying to figure out those pieces and how to put them together themselves. And then I actually did bring tools. They all actually had an opportunity to use a socket wrench and put the wheels on the base of the tower garden. We built the tower garden together. And I don't have any pictures of that, but they certainly had a great time being involved in that hands-on. And that's the thing. I mean, we want kids engaged, and they were engaged right from the get-go. And then Henry, if you'll go to the next slide. So the next slide shows how I actually implemented the garden into my classroom. And if you notice, it's outside. I decided that it would impact more children if I had it outside of my classroom. I only have 14 students, but by putting it outside, 600 students get to see it and experience it. And so I felt like by doing that, it would have a larger impact on my school as a whole. So we started out with it in our classroom. The children planted the seeds. They plant seeds in the rock wool, and we put it under a grow light initially to get the plants going, our little seedlings, and then the children participated in putting the seedlings into the tower. And as you can see, Henry's kind of showing that. And then at the bottom, you can see the roots growing out the bottom of the rock wall. So the way it works is the tower garden has a reservoir at the bottom that's filled with water and minerals, which you add the minerals. And then it has a pump, and it pulls the water to the top of the tower, and then the water showers down over the plants, plant roots. And it's on a 15-minute cycle, so it kind of rains, as you will, on the roots for 15 minutes, and then there's a break for 15 minutes, and then it cycles around and rains on the roots again in 15 minutes. So my children actually help keep the reservoir full of water. I handled all the minerals, but they did participate in keeping the reservoir full of water. And then, like we said, it grows 3 times faster than garden, plants in soil. It's the truth. I mean, oh my goodness. We started out with teeny tiny plants, and in 1 month, the picture that you see of the tower here, that was 1 month growth from the time we put the seedlings in. And then my children actually helped pick produce. So they picked a zucchini. One little girl is trying lettuce there. And then I loved it. The little girl with the glasses in the middle, we grew sugar snap peas, and she broke the peas open and found the seeds inside. And she got so excited that she shared it with a friend. So I was just amazed at how my kids, they took ownership of the garden from the start, from putting it together to planting it and then harvesting the produce. And part of what I put in my grant is my children, many of them have sensory processing disorder, and they're picky eaters. Many of them won't try food. I will tell you, the first thing that we harvested was the lettuce, and every single one of my students tried it. They bit into it. And I had one little boy, he had a horrible look on his face, and I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. And I said, you didn't have to eat the whole thing. But he ate the whole leaf. And I just feel like, my mission was accomplished right away, that, they were just so willing to try the food that they were growing. And so, and then the impromptu lesson, the little boy in orange in the middle, he has a cucumber and a zucchini that came from our garden. And this was from the seat of my pants lesson. I was like, oh, we've got to eat our cucumber and zucchini, and I put them I took them out and I was showing the kids, and I'm like, all right, we're going to try these new vegetables today. And I was looking at them like, oh my gosh, we've got two, long cylinder-like vegetables, and they're green. One is light colored, one is dark. I can do a whole lesson on comparing them, because one's rough and one's smooth. And so we compared them, and then they compared the taste. We cut them up, and then one of my paras brought the contraption that makes zucchini into noodles. So we made zoodles, and so we had slices and zoodles, and the kids just had an amazing time. And I can't wait to get started in the fall with them with the garden. So I've kind of evolved into this whole Juice Plus thing because I got very excited about the tower, got pulled in with the tower, and got my kids excited about the tower. But then as through this whole process, I decided to become a representative for the company. And initially it was kind of selfish. I'm like, oh, I want to try the Juice Plus to see what it'll do for me, especially I'm getting older, so skin is a concern. And but right away I found out that I had more energy. I was feeling became more regular, and my skin has improved. And then as I was learning more about the product, I couldn't wait to tell my family members about it. And I just want to say it came into my life at a perfect time, because my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer just a couple months after I got introduced to Juice Plus, and I started her on the Juice Plus capsules right before her surgery. And she has now gone through 15 chemo treatments and a month of radiation, and her white blood cells are staying regular. So I just have to say that's my blessing in coming to know Juice Plus. So anyway, I guess I'll pass it back to Henry.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Sheli. I love hearing that story because not only do I have a personal connection with you and getting started with that, but just seeing how, you saying yes has not just affected you yourself, but has been able to exponentially affect so many other families out there. I wanted to wait to share about my tower garden experience as well. But after Sheli did, I actually have 3 tower gardens in my old classroom from when I was teaching. My good friend Ashley Doolin-Smith uses it for her biology classes, her environmental science kids at a high school level. If you are like Sheli and you're working with special ed, then they can easily test the pH and refill the basin and do a little bit of pruning and all sorts of stuff. We have foods and fitness classes and global gourmet classes that use the produce and the cucumbers and tomatoes and all that stuff that are grown from the tower. And then the kids are more likely to try it, and then it changes their cravings. So they're able to see a difference not only in the classroom, but beyond the classroom at home. And the parents have even noted that the kids are starting to be more aware of their health, and they're asking for kale. And when they didn't even know what kale was before Tower Garden. So it's a great tool. If you want to know more about that, then please contact the person who sent you this video. Just want to go ahead and wrap up for tonight. And we appreciate you watching all the way to the end, because we know this is a little long, but this community of like-minded, healthy, vibrant, thriving people is just waiting for you on the other side. And so after learning the material from this, you have a choice. If you would like to just continue how you're going and learn more, that's great. If you are ready to get started, then you certainly contact the person who sent you this video, and we can start you on your journey to a healthier version of you. And if you'd like to share it with other people, then you can become a rep just like me, Brooke, and Sheli. And not just affect your health, but the future generations of your kids, families, parents, and your community. So with that being said, just want to invite you to join our community. We have all sorts of awesome events coming up. Definitely contact the person who sent you this video, and they will invite you to those. And the last question I have for you is, are you ready to see what good health can look like for you? So just wanted to thank you again for taking the time out of your busy lives to join us tonight. And we wish you healthy living. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here, and we'll open up for some questions.
I'm in the